राशन की बराबर बेरोजगारी की सारी को जम्मू कश्मीर में मगर तम खुद ज्यादा सुनाई पहचान वैसे कि आप जम्मू कश्मीर रोजर हुए इनकी सुनाई पहचान खत्म करें।
दूसरे जो हालात रहे जिन हालात से आप लोग यहाँ पे गुजरे आपके वो हालात।
This newly created Lok Sabha seat, the Anantnag-Rajouri Lok Sabha constituency, I see is more than just a Lok Sabha constituency. It is a strategic mass.
कि आने वाले 100 साल जो सियासत है वो इसी सीट पे होने वाली है, क्योंकि ये जो सीट है, जो सीट ये निकालेगा उसका समझो कि जम्मू कश्मीर की 35% सियासत के ऊपर एक कंट्रोल हो जाएगा।
Hello and welcome to ThePrint as we continue our coverage from Jammu and Kashmir and different parts of the country. We are heading towards Anantnag-Rajouri Lok Sabha seat. It's a bumpy ride, but even once you reach Rajouri from Jammu, it's a long distance to reach the Anantnag part. It's a new constituency that has come up after the delimitation report came out in 2022. Earlier, Kashmir region had 3 seats, Srinagar, Baramulla and Anantnag, and Jammu had Udhampur and Jammu seat. These were divided between the 2 regions. But now, there is a new constituency that has come up by the name of Anantnag-Rajouri. Anantnag seat in Kashmir has been joined with Poonch district and parts of Rajouri district. Between Rajouri and Poonch and Anantnag, there's a Pir Panchal range that divides the language, the people and culture of the 2 sides. But this time around, they have been joined and it's a fiercely competitive seat that has come up. And most parties have fielded their candidates and it's a very sought after seat. The ongoing Lok Sabha election is said to be the first election after the Anantnag-Rajouri seat was redrawn, Article 370 was abrogated and the Pahari community was granted the reservation. All 3 are key factors in the newly carved out parliamentary constituency when it goes to the polls on 7th May. Politics of Jammu has been so distinct from Kashmir that the last time a regional party, NC or PDP, won any of the 2 seats in Jammu was way back in 2002 when Chaudhry Talib Hussain of National Conference clinched Jammu in a by-poll. Similarly, Mufti Muhammad Saeed was the last candidate from a national party to win in Kashmir in 1998. Saeed, who was with the Congress back then, formed the People's Democratic Party a year after winning the seat. But now the twin Muslim majority districts of Rajouri and Poonch have been combined with South Kashmir's erstwhile Anantnag constituency. Political leaders from the region argue that South Kashmir and Rajouri Poonch have been very different and have little in common besides the religious beliefs of a majority of the population. The road connecting the 2 regions does not even remain open year-round. Yet many claim that the seat will decide the politics of Jammu and Kashmir for the next many years, as the politics of the 2 regions is set to spill on either side. Senior journalist and political analyst Safar Chaudhry believes that it is not just a Lok Sabha seat but a strategic mass.
Well, Jammu and Kashmir is not an ordinary political battlefield as other states are in the country. There are still strategic and security concerns which overtake the political realities on the ground, particularly in the backdrop of the constitutional and political developments which have taken place over the last 5-6 years. So in that context, this newly created Lok Sabha seat, the Anantnag-Rajouri Lok Sabha constituency, I see is more than just a Lok Sabha constituency. It is a strategic mass. So the whole development of August 5, 2019 also sought to change the political status quo and also recast a social landscape of Jammu and Kashmir. So it's in that background that this constituency is perhaps the first trans-Pir Panjal political unit in close to 180 years of the existence of Jammu and Kashmir, that it includes areas from the Kashmir Valley and it includes areas from Jammu region as well. In between there is a mountain which is very difficult to traverse. So I think the idea is that this constituency can have some political a diversification or a mix of political influences from both sides which have always been very distinct and very different from each other. So I think for the regional political parties, it's very important to be able to expand their base toward the Jammu side, because over the last 30 years, particularly National Conference is, seeing restriction of its base to the Kashmir Valley, and PDP has essentially been a Kashmir Valley political party. So it's important for them to try and come toward Jammu, and for BJP, which is of course not contesting the election, but they have their informal allies. They would want that they have influence over this constituency. So it's in that context of security and strategic mix that this constituency assumes a huge importance.
There are different views about Rajouri and Poonch being joined with Anantnag seat. Anantnag being in Kashmir and Rajouri and Poonch being districts of Jammu division. Another important factor on the seat, which will be very important this time, is the reservation to Pahari tribe. They were given the ST status. Earlier this year it was notified and they were given 10% reservation along with 3 other tribes. So Paharis, Pada tribe, Kolis and Gadda Brahmins who were given ST status and this 10% reservation apart from existing 10% reservation for STs, which primarily included Gujjar and Bakarwal tribes. Now all of them have their own views about this decision to give reservation, long pending demand of Pahari tribe. There are nearly 10.2 lakh Paharis in J&K according to the State Advisory Board for Development of Pahari speaking people based on the 2011 census. While Rajouri and Poonch districts have 56% Pahari speaking people, they are 8% in Anantnag district. In terms of numbers, Rajouri and Poonch have over 6.2 lakh Pahari speaking population and Anantnag has 85,000. We spoke to several Pahari activists and leaders about the recent decision to give reservation to Paharis. They believe that this reservation will also have a political impact.
पहाड़ी बेसिकली एक लैंग्वेज है और ये हिंदुस्तान के आइन के 8th शेड्यूल में रजिस्टर्ड है और इसका इलाका हमारे इस हिंदुस्तानी जम्मू कश्मीर में राजौरी, पुंछ, उड़ी, केरन, करना ये बनता है और पोस्ट पार्टीशन मुजफ्फराबाद, मीरपुर और बाग, पलंदरी ये सारा इलाका जो है ये पहाड़ी लैंग्वेज का ये पूरा सीट रहा है और इसमें वो लोग जो पहाड़ी बोलने वाले हैं उस लैंग्वेज के बोलने वाले हैं उन्हीं को पहाड़ी माना जाता है। इसमें इस मुजफ्फराबाद, मीरपुर के हिंदू, सिख, मुसलमान, यहाँ इस जम्मू कश्मीर में राजौरी, पुंछ के, उड़ी, केरन, करना के हिंदू, मुस्लिम, सिख ये सारे शामिल हैं जिसको मुजफ्फराबादी ज़ुबान भी कहा जाता है। उनका हमारे गुज्जर बकरवाल भाइयों के दर्द को पहले समझा और उनको एसटी का स्टेटस दिया और हमें उस बात की खुशी है। हम हिंदुस्तान हुकूमत के ये 1992 में आया तो और हम उनके एहसानमंद हैं हुकूमत के कि उन्होंने इस पीर पंचाल खित्ते के और इस पूरे रीजन में बसने वाले लोगों के दर्द को समझा, लेकिन इसमें जो पहाड़ी कबीला के लोग थे उस वक्त उनको नहीं दिया गया और उसके लिए 2 नस्लों को 3 नस्लों को स्ट्रगल करना पड़ा।
देखो जो रिजर्वेशन हमें मिली है उसके लिए तो हम जो भाजपा की बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट है, नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैं और ख़ासकर अमित शाह जी जिन्होंने एक कमिटमेंट की और वो कमिटमेंट पूरी की, तो ये हमारे लोगों में एक जो सबसे बड़ी जो एक मसला था, सबसे बड़ी खुशी का मकाम है कि पिछले 40 सालों से हमारे लोग चाहे वो कहीं सर्विस के फील्ड में नौजवान, कहीं एम्प्लॉइज़ हैं वो विक्टिमाइज थे। हमारे साथ हर जगह जो नाइंसाफ़ी हो रही थी, महरूमियों का शिकार था हमारे लोग। तो हम इस सरकार का बहुत शुक्रगुजार हैं जिन्होंने जो हमारा ये बहुत पुराना ख्वाब जो है पूरा किया।
We also spoke to some of the leaders from the Gujjar community. Gujjar Bakarwals comprise 35% of the population of Rajouri and Poonch districts according to 2011 census. Anantnag, Shopian and Kulgam also have a significant Gujjar population.
ये फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम राजौरी जो है वो हॉट स्पॉट बन गया है क्योंकि राजौरी का वोट आज हम समझते हैं डिसाइड करेगा कि अनंतनाग राजौरी सीट पे जीतने वाला कैंडिडेट कौन होगा। ये इम्पोर्टेंस गेन कर गया है राजौरी और पुंछ के लिए और ये बहुत अच्छा हुआ है। जब ये फैसला हुआ था तो डिलिमिटेशन की वजह से। हालांकि डिलिमिटेशन में इसको करने के पीछे वजूहात कुछ और थी, मगर मैं उस टाइम भी समझता था कि ये हमारे लिए बेहतर हुआ है। ये एक मौका मिला है राजौरी और पुंछ की आवाम को कि हमारा वोट काउंट होगा, पहली बार हमारा वोट काउंट होगा। और ये अच्छा हुआ है राजौरी और पुंछ के लिए कि हम एक डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर बन गए। नहीं, ब्रैकेट बेशक क्रिएट किया है, मैं कह रहा हूँ ब्रैकेट क्रिएट किया है। और उसमें एसटी जो है, गुज्जर्स जिस एसटी का बेनिफिट उठा रहे थे वो अलग है बेशक, मगर मैं कह रहा हूँ कि द ब्रैकेट विच हैज़ बीन क्रिएटेड फॉर पहाड़ीज ओनली इंक्लूड्स होल ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन एक्सेप्ट द गुज्जर्स। उसमें जो डिप्राइव्ड है, जो अंडर प्रिविलेज्ड है, ही विल नॉट बी एबल टू कम्पीट विद दोज हु आर प्रिविलेज्ड पीपल। सबको इसमें इकट्ठा कर दिया गया है।
एसटी रिजर्वेशन बिल्कुल, उसके बाद ये पहला इलेक्शन है, उसका इम्पैक्ट भी है, उसका इम्पैक्ट भी होगा, लेकिन इतना ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट नहीं होगा। थोड़ा बहुत इम्पैक्ट उसका भी पड़ेगा ज़रूर।
लेकिन आपको लगता है वो एसटी रिजर्वेशन जो दिया गया वो सही है, गलत है, उसको कैसे देखते हैं?
देखिए, ये डिमांड थी, एक ये 30 साल पुरानी डिमांड थी, तो उसको गवर्नमेंट ने फुलफिल किया है। तो अगर गवर्नमेंट ने दिया है तो गवर्नमेंट के खजाने में बहुत कुछ होता है, वो दे दिया तो अच्छी बात है वो। जी,
एसटी स्टेटस देना, एक दो कम्युनिटियों के दरमियान डिवाइड करना और उनको अपनी सियासत सीधी करनी थी, बट वो हो नहीं पाया।
Political analyst Zafar Chaudhary explains key candidates in this Lok Sabha seat.
There are 3 candidates, formidable candidates, as we can say. There are a number of other candidates, more than 20. But 3 are the important candidates. One is from National Conference, one is from People's Democratic Party, and one is from Apni Party. So National Conference and People's Democratic Party, they have their politics to be competed on the same ground. So if for them, it's a battle of political survival. So former Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti is contesting, and from the National Conference's side, Mian Altaf, who is a veteran leader of the party, who has won 5 elections, assembly elections back to back. They are in the fray. And Apni Party is also not something that we can take lightly. This is the only party, our major party, which has arrived on the scene in the backdrop of the August 2019. So it rises from the ashes of the dissolution of Article 370. So stakes are really very high. So it's between National Conference and People's Democratic Party. So the party which loses will have a very difficult future, and the party which wins will have a sort of position to be able to project itself as a party which can be trusted for the upcoming assembly elections as well. So for Apni Party, it's very important, and BJP would also like to see that Apni Party wins, so that the post 2019 realities are able to take ground. And Home Minister Amit Shah has said a couple of times, when BJP did not field the candidate, he said that don't vote for Congress, don't vote for National Conference, don't vote for People's Democratic Party, and we are not in the fray. Go and find out which are the other parties which are in interest of people and which are in interest of the country. So the other party that remains in fray on this seat is the Apni Party. So obviously the Home Minister hinted that people who are not aligned, people who could listen to the Home Minister should vote for the Apni Party. So contest as it appears today is a direct between the National Conference and People's Democratic Party. But as it heats up in the coming days, I'm sure that it's going to be slightly triangular.
Anantnag, Shopian and Kulgam districts of Kashmir have over 98% Muslim population. Poonch too has over 90% Muslim population, and Rajouri has nearly 62% Muslim population. However, the culture, language and issues are very different on the two sides. So is the voting pattern. In the 2019 general election, Anantnag saw voting of mere 8.98%. On the contrary, Rajouri and Poonch, then part of the Jammu parliamentary constituency, had 65% and over 70% voting, respectively, according to ECI data. NC's Hasnain Masoodi emerged victorious, securing 40,100 votes in Anantnag. Out of the 12 assembly segments in the Kashmir district of Anantnag, Shopian and Kulgam, the NC won 6, the Congress 4 and the PDP 2 in 2019 before delimitation took place. The BJP had less than 2,000 votes. Now, with the addition of Rajouri Poonch, the BJP becomes a player in the seat. In 2019, the NC was in alliance with the Congress, and the PDP did not field its candidates in Jammu, which included Rajouri and Poonch. The primary competition was between Congress and BJP, unlike in Anantnag. Anantnag is also home to a significant population of Kashmiri migrants who can vote from outside the parliamentary constituency in Udhampur, Jammu and Delhi. Last time, out of 8,153 migrants who voted in the constituency, nearly 89% voted in favor of the BJP.
There are some caste and community formulations. One distinction is very clear that around 40% of the vote base comes from the Jammu side, which is Rajouri and Poonch districts, and 60% of the vote base comes from the Kashmir side, which are Anantnag, Kulgam districts, and a part of the Shopian district. So in Rajouri and Poonch, there have been a historical distinction of the voting behavior and patterns between the Gujar people and the Pahari speaking people. On the South Kashmir side, so Kashmiris are in a wide majority, and there are some pockets of Gujar people and some pockets of Pahari speaking people as well. Now it will entirely depend that what's going to be the voting percentage on the South Kashmir side, which has traditionally been around 10%, which means that, you know, very poor quality of democracy. It appears that this time people are looking forward to coming in big numbers to the polling stations. So that voting pattern will determine. In any case, for the government of India, for the establishment in New Delhi, so whichever party wins or loses, that is immaterial as compared to what percentage of the voting is registered, because that will be a huge victory in terms of the security situation that obtains after the August 5, 2019 developments.
Now, people of Pir Panchal, Rajouri and Poonch agree for sure on one thing, that development hasn't been enough here in this region over the last 70 years. Thank you for joining in. Do tune in to The Print for more such news, ground reports and analysis as we continue to bring coverage from across the country, different parts of the country during this election season. This is Amogh Rohmetra reporting on ground.